Hello everyone, this is DInfinityX, and we're back in my Minecraft world over my Guardian farm. So while I was waiting to start the podcast, I had the brilliant idea of potentially transforming the Guardian farm into something that served a dual purpose, and hopefully I don't die. But I have converted this into um, I don't want to throw that down, into a squid farm as well. I am going to die. So the concept is, as you can see floating around, if I fly down here, all the ink sacs that are floating around this area are all left over from the Guardians killing the squids. And when I'm all the way up there, the all of that goes to waste because it just gets despawned and all of that. So I built in this system. I missed completely. At least this side's low. I built in this system so that when the squid die, at least over this area, the ink sacs float up, float over, and then float into this hopper line right here. And then if we run over here, there's a few extra added because I flew down here to check. This was about I'd say 2.5 hours of me sitting up in that platform. So what was that? 8 stacks of squid ink. And if I had, I can't fly. There we go. And if I had the rest of it, so I want to do another module over here and then 2 off the sides pushing stuff in, and that will hopefully solve any need for me to make a squid farm. But the fact that I've gotten 8 stacks just from AFKing above the farm here, and if we go through here, I just realized that my sound isn't on. I had to turn the sound off for the podcast we were doing. And if we go in here, I can already see we've got 2 stacks there. We're only 3 chests deep. Half a stack there, stack there, so that's 4. We'll say we're at 5 stacks right there of squid ink in the system right now. On that side, on this side, we've got another one. That's all prismarine. Let me get back up here. There's 3, so 4, 5, 6. Yeah, so this farm produces a lot of squid ink on its own, but it also wastes a lot just from, the fact that all of those squid just die outside of it and never end up into the system. So I'm going to work on getting all those hooked up so that this becomes not only a guardian farm, but also a squid farm. All right, so it is the next day for me, and I've done a lot of work. So I've added some more greenery to the mountain here. Tried to pull it out from the river that's cutting through it a little bit. You also notice there's a lot of sea lanterns now. And the purpose for that, let me fly over to the AFK little box over here, because it really can tell from over here. And I've missed it. That's going to be the trail that leads up the mountain. So you have the trail going this way, and you have it split off in 2 different directions, one going up, one going down, and then you have a split off here where I have made a little path into the little cave here. I also have started working on the nether portion of the mountain, which is all well and good. But the main thing that I kind of got sucked into today, or at least the last hour, about hour, is I started building out the framework for the mob/iron skyscraper that I'm going to build. If I still had, I had an unfortunate creeper incident over here that blew up all my signs, but I'm going to build that right there, and that is the footprint so far. So let me take you over here. And the main point of this is there are going to be platforms. This is going to be a spawning platform on each of these levels. And they're all going to be controlled by one redstone signal that is going to come up one of these sides, probably this one. And it's going to flush the mobs in and down here, just like we have over at spawn over there. and this is going to hopefully make us a lot of mob drops. Mostly redstone. I'm mostly interested in redstone right now. Even though I have a lot, I would still like to add some more. And let me explain here. Give me a second. So after yesterday's podcast, I was kind of, let's just say, disheartened a bit. And I say yesterday, this is possibly going to come up on Wednesday, possibly come up on Thursday. I don't know when I'm going to put this out because I still have a lot to do. But there were some things said afterwards that kind of just took it out of me. And I really didn't have the motivation to really do much this morning or today. And it was kind of just, I'm one of the type of people that will dwell on stuff far longer than I should and not brush off things that I should. But I'm trying to get over that. So I started working on the mob skyscraper because although I love working on the mountain and I really want to see it open up, right now I've just been kind of scatterbrained today and just working on a bunch of different things. Like this morning, I spent a good chunk of the morning just cleaning up the area down here. I moved my axolotls. I've cleaned out the chest a bunch, cleaned up a bunch of the shulkers that were laying around. I did also come up with a good idea for this system. Let me kind of explain what's going on with it now. So I have, those are my, I have an automatic cutoff now. So if we run around here, if any of these chests, well, that side, not this side, I haven't finished this side. If any of these chests run out of items, and I don't think I have enough inventory space, I need to drop my moss blocks here. If any of these boxes run out, what will happen is it locks up the system. So it puts the piston down so that it can't be dispensed. It automatically dispenses any shulker that's in the system, and it turns on this light to let me know that it ran out. So if we take my red box here and we take out 16 leads and we split this in half again, and we go back around here and put these 8 leads back in this box to say, hey, it's not really out, but it's close. And then we go and take the... Oh, thank you. Nope. And we take the box and toss it in here just like we would, not realizing that the leads were almost out. It's going to freeze up, but still dispense the box. So I can notice that, hey, I don't have a full set of leads. And the other thing I did was make it so you can't just throw the box in here and hope to get it, because it would just get stuck in the system. I thought that was it. Oh, why is there a fence post here? I thought that was a pretty elegant solution for making sure that the system doesn't accidentally run out of stuff and end up completely broken. I did have to move this. I still have to do this line of... They're dead. I still have to do this line of... and hook it up to that, so this line will detect when it's empty. Like rockets, I've been going through a lot of rockets lately. Scaffolding is a big one that I'm probably going to go through quite a bit coming up. In fact, I may have to switch some of this stuff around. I don't go through carrots that much. Arrows are hit or miss. But I'm probably going to do something to fix that up. But yeah, it's just been a time this weekend. I was hoping to get so much more done, and it just... a few stray comments kind of took the wind out of me. So now the next thing I want to talk about, let me get back down to the ground. Now the other thing that I want to do is start building up the trail so I can kind of figure out how the front face of this mountain's going to look so I can start kind of beautifying the front face here. Now I've decided on, I haven't decided yet. I don't know if I'm going to go with a 3-path or if I'm going to go with a 2-path. And I've made a few different designs of arches that I want to go all the way up the mountain here. I'm not a big fan of the ones that are or these shorter ones, because although they kind of look good, they're not. I like the lantern hanging down from the middle here. And I also am kind of leaning towards the 2-wide path. I did really like this design. And I haven't, at first I was going to do it to where this was the outside and not the pathway itself, but I don't like that, and it would just be, I think, a lot more resources. I do like the fact that it would lean into the mountain to make it look like it has some support. And then I haven't decided if I'm going to go with the nether brick or the spruce, or if I can find something else that kind of fits the aesthetic of what I want to do. I'm torn between this one and the nether brick one. Yeah, I kind of agree with my daughter here. I'm not. I kind of like it for the fence post aspect. I don't necessarily like it for the bottom. But I also like just the aesthetic of the fence post. I tried stairs, but I'm not 100% on the stairs either. I might mix and match and see what else I can come up with. But these are just a few of the designs. Like, I really like this one. The problem is, and it's kind of what's reflected over there, is I can't have the whole archway, because if we go up towards some of the mountain here, like right here, it's going to be at best 2 blocks wide, and there's not going to be a whole lot for it to hook onto. And that's why I kind of went with the design of it leaning over and just kind of pushing into the mountain. So it gives it kind of a archway feel, but there's still that path. I just have to figure out what to do with underneath and everything else. But that's what I'm going to be working on for the next few hours. I want to get a few layers of the farm done over here. It only takes me a few minutes to do a layer. The biggest thing is running out of resources right now, because although I picked moss for the spawning platforms because I figured it would be the cheapest way for me to make them, since I'm going to be using so much, the oak is not so much. And I could build everything out of moss, but I kind of want this to look nice on the inside. Now, granted, this is going to be the inside of the skyscraper, so it's not going to be seen. I just want to make it look somewhat nice. I don't know. I've got a lot of things I need to work on with this. So we'll see how it turns out, at least the few layers. I want to get a few of them up so I can see how well this thing will perform. All right, so the biggest thing with this mob farm is that it uses a lot of trapdoors. Not as much as probably more than a creeper farm itself would, but I have to go around and place 60 trapdoors per level, which is 60 redstone per level, which is 3 or 4 repeaters per level. I'll have to run through real quick and do the math on that. But I wouldn't say the nice thing, because wood is one of the things that we are kind of always running out of, it seems like. Alright, so if we run over here, I've got my repeaters, I've got my redstone. So a repeater goes right there, and then we run a redstone line all the way out here to another repeater, redstone repeater, and we run this all the way down. Oh, nope, I was wrong on repeaters. It's a lot more repeaters because that's already 6, and I need to make one more turn. So 8 repeaters, sorry, not 8, 7. Yeah, 7 repeaters per level. And I think if my math is correct, because right now this first level is on Y108. This is the ideal platform to stand on would be Y197. So that's 89 at 2, or so 89 minus 15, which is about 74, divided by 2 is 36 slices, which is a ridiculous amount now that I'm thinking about it, because that's not 36, 37. So if I did 37 slices, that would be 148 roughly spawning pads for mobs to spawn on. That may be a bit excessive. I may just work, because right now I've only got enough trapdoors for, 7 more levels? Maybe, it's 7 more levels. Not that I can't get more, and I'm definitely going to need it, but the amount of wood, redstone, and everything that's going to this is going to be quite a bit, unfortunately. All right, now that I've got the first layer here all done, I'm going to work on wiring it up to a hopper clock down there real quick, just so I can turn it on and get this going, and then I'm on a time lapse to see how long it takes me to do one level. So with 3 layers going, and just 3 layers right now, this is the type of spawn rates I'm getting, which is obviously isn't great, but it's still rather impressive. Look at them all go. The other thing I want to add is I put the campfires down there to stop the people with armor surviving, and to potentially kill the witches if they survive. Although I'm not, it's 32 blocks. It might be 31 and a half with the campfires, but my thought is, even if it doesn't kill the witches, maybe they'll start drinking a fire potion as they're dying and drop the fire potion. All right, so I have finished 7 layers, and I was going to include the time-lapse footage in the video, but it wasn't going to work very well. So it took me 11 minutes during the time-lapse to get this all done, which isn't bad. I can do 1 layer pretty much in 1 Minecraft day, and then fly up here for the night and watch everything kind of fall in. Now, I know that the mob cap for me is 72. The point of this is not necessarily to reach, my goal is to get as many mobs as possible, so hitting that max mob cap at 72 every time this thing cycles. Now, it's obviously not going to do it right now because there's, spaces to spawn on top, and I'm sure there's spaces underneath that they can spawn and live. But so far, it's doing really well at what it's designed, as apparent right now. Look at all of them just falling down. And I've got to tweak the timing a little bit because right now, obviously, mobs can't spawn because they're still, waiting to fall down, and the platforms are still there. That didn't make any sense. Basically, yeah, I want to make it so that all the mobs can spawn before the water turns on to flush them. And I think I've got the timing close, but I want to maybe add a few more blocks to improve it just a little bit. But that's going to do it for this one, or I should say this episode. I'm sorry I didn't do too much, and I was kind of all over the place. Like I said, after the podcast on Saturday, I was just kind of little bit on the defeated side and didn't really feel like doing much until I started working on this. And then I've done 7 layers in about, I guess it's closer to about 4 hours now, but still, uh, it's not bad. My biggest thing right now is I've ran out of redstone repeaters, and I just need to gather a few more resources because I think I'm even running low on moss. So I'm probably going to run the moss machine overnight, or at least tomorrow, so I can get some more moss and fill up the shulkers again and get this thing working even better. The big thing is going to be adding on all the iron modules. That's going to be something. So until then, this was D Infinity X. I hope you have a good rest of your day.